Guys from Bulgari, Pascal Brandt, L'Epitome de Homme Masculin, Catherine, thank you so much for joining us. Fabrizio Bonomassa.
Dottore Negroni, it's always a pleasure.
So guys, maybe I can start everything off first by checking in with you to say I'm so much looking forward to seeing you in person at Geneva Watch Days.
Pascal, this is for you.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, you know, I really miss these type of person-to-person gatherings. And finally, I think the last watch fair I attended was in the desert with you guys in Dubai in the beginning of 2020 in January, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then and now finally I get to see you guys again in an official capacity, but also for the friendship, l'amitié, which is very important too.
Correct.
So this year I want to talk about a watch that you launched, which was the incredible Octo Finissimo Perpetual Calendar Double Retrograde. So this watch from a thinness and technical perspective is amazing. From a design perspective, it's so beautiful with a little clin d'oeil to some of the old retrograde Genta watches as well. I almost feel a bit bad for the technical guys at Audemars Piguet because, you know, they were like 6.3 mm, 6.3 mm, thinnest in the world. And then boom, you guys come along and smash it by a full 0.5 mm, 5.8 mm, which I know is not the only objective, but to be fair, it's really cool. Plus it's double retrograde. So anyway, let's talk about this watch first. And then we can talk about the amazing version that you created for Only Watch. Fabrizio Bonomassa, what was the core objective with this? Was it to create something that was the thinnest in the world? Was it to create a new way of representing the perpetual calendar information, to create just another modern icon that's an extension of the beautiful Octo Finissimo family? Tell me, sir.
Thank you very much for the modern icon. We will see. We are very happy about the results for sure. But the secret and the first idea behind the perpetual calendar was the simplicity. A very simple dial, easy to read, because you know, way at the beginning, at the origin of the Octo Finissimo concept, the idea was a wearable complications. So when I say wearable complication, I mean that we want to use and we want to read the time and we want to read all the information that we have on this dial. And this is the most difficult things to do, because when we talk about ultra thin execution, for sure we don't have enough room for for decorative elements or to make special effect on the dial. As you can see, all our dials is just one layer, starting from the first hour minute with the tourbillon, and now with the last one is the perpetual calendar. So very simple dial, very easy to read, and even on the perpetual calendar was the idea to have a very easy to read date counter. Because, you know, when you have a 31 small inscription, is impossible to read when you have a counter or 360 degree. That's why we come out with the idea of the retrograde. The retrograde is even a part of the company. Our first watch was a jumping hour. So you know that it's a part of our history and DNA. The idea of the small second count, the two small counters, we were obliged to do it because we have the day of the week, the months of the year. So the most important one is the date counter. That's why we have this retrograde function. Simplicity, at the end, is the motto.
I love it. It's so elegant, but I also love the visibility. I always joke that the day that you can afford a perpetual calendar is the day you can no longer read a perpetual calendar, except for the Bulgari Octo Finissimo perpetual calendar, because this one is visible and legible, which I love, you know. So I know also that this watch has been an immense success, sold out everywhere. You know, you have to you have to be very lucky if you're able to get this watch. Also here in the stunning sandblasted titanium execution.
Yeah, the sandblasted titanium is amazing. Is a DNA of the Octo Finissimo. The first one with titanium sandblasted was the minute repeater, and it was a huge success in Basel because for the first time we combined together one of the most noble complications in watchmaking industry with this kind of material that comes from the outer space, from the military executions, from a very sport and chic watch. So this is Bulgari. We would love to make the sparkles, to combine together different materials and different objects. Honestly, just Bulgari can turn a gas pipe in a luxury icons, and just Bulgari can turn a piece of titanium in again and watchmaking high-end watch. That's why the titanium is very important for us. And immediately after the success of the minute repeater, we decided to have the same finishing for the first hour, minute, and second with the automatic function. It was a huge success, even if the titanium, you know, it's a very segmented product. You love it or you hate it. That's why the second great success, it was the Finissimo S, the one that I wear, with the steel dial. It's absolutely my favorite Finissimo immediately after the titanium. The idea was to have a monochrome approach, just one color, one finishing, to have a different phase from for this different dial and different way to wear the watch. You know, in the industrial design world, you have some good product, you have some great successful product or iconic product. The secret, honestly, I don't know, still today, 49 years old, I'm still looking to find this kind of secret. But you know, when you introduce a new way to play with the products, if you are able to introduce even a new aesthetics and you have the aesthetics and let me say the functionality at the same level, maybe you are on the right way. The success of the Finissimo is maybe because it was a different way to wear a grand complication watch, more in an Italian way, more in a very discreet way, at the same time with a very new, brand new aesthetics. I think this is the secret. Very simple, but with a very unique design.
Absolutely. I love how, you know, avant-garde your designs always are. The idea of having a minute repeater and sandblasted titanium, to have also now a perpetual calendar in that as well. And I love the Octo Finissimo S in steel with that beautiful steel dial. It's fabulous. I was just thinking, you know, how cool would a chronograph version of that be? That's just
We are not obliged. We are not obliged, to make time the chrono version of the hour, minute, and second. We will see, but I'm not sure. Just to tell you,
a monochrome tachymeter. But anyway. So guys, let me talk to you because I know you guys participate in a wonderful initiative, which is Only Watch, which was created by our friend Lupetta Vino. Maybe Pascal, from your perspective, tell us, why is this initiative important to you?
So Only Watch, of course, I met Lupetta Vino since long time. We discussed a lot at that time. The initiative grew. His son, as you know, was suffering of the myopathy Duchenne, passed away, if I'm right. And I think it's important for a luxury brand today, or for a brand to be even more simple, to show that there is also a commitment, not only in Excel spreadsheets with a bottom line and sales and profit, but a commitment towards such a cause, you know. Myopathy Duchenne, it's awful. There is no way to escape, and especially for the kids, it's really touching. So I think it's important that we show also that beside profit, beside sales, beside the usual bullshit in this industry, and beautiful products, you said about Octo, to show that we are committed for such an initiative. Super important. I'm very sensitive to that, you know. It's exactly the thing that Bulgari does now, engaging with Only Watch first time. I remember that Guido, for instance, was not so warm at the time. Yeah, Only Watch, what is it? Blah 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 blah. It's, for us, it's nothing, but it's a lot. Simply.
Totally agree. But I know this is really representative of Bulgari to me. I mean, what I think is so wonderful is it's a brand that creates watches with soul, but also a brand with a soul. You know, what you guys have done for Save the Children, what you guys have done for COVID, also with the virus eradication fund, to also even, you know, fund one of the vaccines, which is now being put into millions of arms around the world. I mean, I think as an example of social responsibility, I think that's super important. Maybe Catherine, I'll ask you, why is it important if a luxury object is there to make you feel happiness, why is it also that a brand also has the underlying ethics that is also about making the world better?
We call ourselves luxury brands. We bring beauty to the world, and the least we can do is to aim to share that with as many people as possible, and even for people who cannot afford those goods. It's part of a dream. It's as you said, social responsibility, and today it's even more important than 10 years ago. And we see more and more great initiatives into that direction. And I think it's a very strong and good signal, because we can offer our art, our mind, our soul to something that is really meaningful, and not just buying goods, consumption, and glamorous and sparkling magazine covers. We have a role to play, and those initiatives, Only Watch is one, Pink Dial is one, are helping us to do that. So we are also very, very grateful for guys like you, like Luc, who are able to syndicate us around this kind of projects. Because alone, a brand cannot do it. We have to be partner with an organization that can drive that. So Save the Children was one, scientific research is another one, but raising funds, and you can also think what was done for AIDS years ago, and that's still going on, is really how we can demonstrate that, and also communicate in the good way of communication, just sharing the knowledge, sharing the beauty, and sharing the funds, because it's all about dollars.
Totally agree. And Fabrizio, please tell us from your perspective why it's important. You know, I know you're my friend, and I know it is also very important to you as well. Why it's so important from a BVLGARI perspective, why it's so important from a Fabrizio Buonamassa perspective, and tell us a little bit about the watch that you created for Only Watch.
But you know, we have no choice. We are obliged to do it. We have to use our crowd to share different messages. We cannot talk just about luxury and we not care about this kind of elements. You have to know that the last aim of a designer is to improve the quality of life through the product. So we have to help the people that are less lucky than us to develop themselves. That's why Save the Children was an amazing project that we started more or less, if I remember well, it was 10, 12 years ago. And we are very proud about that, because it was maybe the first luxury brand that started to develop this kind of initiative, just not to sell a product, but we build up a hospital, we build up a school for children around the world. So Save the Children and BVLGARI, it's an amazing partnership. And again, we are obliged to do it because today it's very important to use our crowd to share this kind of messages. And with the Luc, it was an amazing partnership. We started to discuss about Only Watch 4 or 5 years ago. And in a certain moment during the Dubai Watch Week, I say, look, now I think it's the right moment to do it. We have the right product, and now we want to participate at this kind of activity with you. And Luc, it was very happy about that, and we immediately start to discuss about the product. And after, when you have to make the product, it's not so easy. The Perpetual Calendar was in process, but the idea was to have for this kind of activity our best in class. So the Perpetual Calendar was the last one. It was not so easy to imagine the evolution of a watch that it was in our pipeline, and we start to develop the Only Watch execution before the launching of the Perpetual Calendar. But the effort was huge, because again, we want to participate in the right way. just not just to put a logo on the dial, on a common watch, on a regular watch, but the idea was to show our effort to follow this kind of activities. And I'll tell you, it was not so easy at all to make this kind of case in tantalum. When we comes out with the idea, it was just a discussion. Why don't you make in tantalum? Say, Fabrizio, you are crazy. We never finished the development of the watch, and you are introducing new materials that we never use for the watch. And we know even how it's possible to do it, because we don't know the suppliers. We don't know if it's possible to do it. Or so I'm honest with you, way we started, if I remember well, with the last idea 6 months ago. After several ideas, and each time it was not the right one to participate on the only watch, we decided to go ahead with the tantalum. We are very happy about the results. It's a huge effort, a different dial. It's not the same blue. It's a brand new dial that we made for the tantalum, and just the small orange signature on the dial is something that I love, because it's a November only watch, but it's now, and it's something that makes this watch even more unique. Again, we are obliged to do it. Again, we are very happy to participate to this kind of event. We are very happy to go ahead with this kind of activity. And I'll tell you, for us, it's a huge effort. You know, our way to do it, the things, even the pink dial, you know, it's just started with a discussion between you, Antoine, and me. And at the end, we have the watch. At the end, we are very happy about the results. And again, we are obliged to do it. So no other choices, and no, we don't want to have other choices.
That's very kind of you, sir. And that's a perfect transition to the Pink Dial project. So, you know, we're trying to learn from your example when we see what Bulgari has done, you know, especially over the last couple of years. It's given back so much to society. You know, we feel also an obligation to try to do something as well. So we worked on a COVID solidarity auction last year, and this year, and maybe what we are hoping will be a tradition that we can continue. We started something called the Pink Dial Project, which is a charity auction that raises money for breast cancer charities around the world. And yes, I remember very well, Fabrizio, you know, in just a very quick conversation between yourself and the wonderful Antoine Pin, who I think is on vacation, but we sent him our very best, and he probably deserves really his vacation because he works very hard.
He just texted me that he cannot connect. So I said that we were anyway in the middle of it, and that he can always reconnect with you when when you see each other during.
Yes. And physically, yes, but we sent him a big hug and also a big thank you. So, you know, Fabrizio, maybe tell us a little bit about when you heard about the Pink Dial project, what you thought of this project, and then tell us about the watch that you created, because I love the fact that you took the concept of a pink dial, but made it very subtle, unexpected, and very cool.
Again, simplicity is the secret of the Octo Finissimo. Pink dial, if you can imagine, is to put a pink color on the dial. But this is everybody can do it. We are Bulgari, we are different, and we try each time a different angle, a different point of view on the same topic. So on the Octo Finissimo, we have 2 dials, and I think the most important one is the sub-counter dials, because show you all this small second counter that tell you that this is an automatic watch. It's for the first time that we introduced this dial. It was not on the automatic one; it was on the manual winding one, but this is our signature. So the idea was to have these small indexes, just a touch of pink, to tell you exactly the same approach of the only watch, just to tell you that this watch is dedicated to this kind of activities. It's a black ceramic watch with our iconic black ceramic dial, and we are very happy to keep working on this kind of execution with just to add a different touch on this ceramic dial. We have to say that it's not so common to have a ceramic dial on a watch. Often when we say ceramic watch, is just the case. This time we have the bracelet, the buckle, and the dial, and for sure the case. So just the movement is not made in ceramic, and just the hands are not made in ceramic. We are very happy about that. It's a fantastic watch, another great success, another great achievement, and we are very happy to have a pink dial on this black, full black execution.
I have to say, it's one of the watches that so many people, many of my friends they say they're going to keep bidding until they get it, which I love, right? Because it's so cool. But I want to also say a big hello to Mr. Antoine Pin. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Sorry, I missed the slots. Got my PC reshuffled, no connection. Everything's bad. I'm here for the conclusion, I guess.
Well, actually, no, you come at the perfect time because we talked already about Only Watch, which we love. We love the 10 Talent Perpetual Calendar. And we talked about the cause, Luc Petavino's cause as well, which we love. We talked about corporate responsibility and how BVLGARI has taken such an incredible leadership position in this. And then we were just looking at the watch from Pink Dial Project, which we adore, But, Antoine, you were, basically, you and Fabrizio were amongst the first people that we talked to about this project. And I have to say, first of all, a big thank you, and also that we were super touched that you said immediately, we have to participate in this, we're going to do it. So from your perspective, Antoine, as a luxury brand, why do you feel this responsibility to give back to society, and why were you so receptive to this project as well?
Probably because we do share the feeling that as an industry, we know where we stand. I guess we try to realize where we stand. And as much as I believe that the industry of luxury can bring lots to the customers, be it from a perspective of inspiration, of self-satisfaction. We also know that as an industry, we are not saving lives. We are not on the forefront of the fight against the major challenges that faces our world. And in that perspective, we have to be basically as involved in our ways to support those industries and those people on the forefront. It's our way to be part of the community in a way, and that's why there's no discussion. There's no discussion about whether we should participate or not. It's just absolutely mandatory. That's the way it is.
That's amazing. I mean, again, thank you so much, Antoine.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a real pleasure to be part of these kinds of adventures. I mean, frankly, it's not much that we're doing, but what we do is we do it with a lot of enthusiasm about it. That's for sure.
Well, it's so wonderful talking to you guys as well. I mean, you make, amongst the very coolest watches in the world. You have amongst the coolest people in the world also, with the biggest hearts. And of course, on your team, of course, is l'Epiton de Homme Masculin, Pascal Brandt, as well. So, like this, BVLGARI is winning. So guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Pascal, Catherine, Fabrizio, and Antoine. Thank you so much for joining us. I am really looking forward to seeing you guys all in person here in Geneva Watch Days. So
yes, that will be good.
Yeah, we'll
for a meal, for a drink, for a fondue, let me know.
Absolutely, absolutely, we'll do that.
Fantastic. Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, bye-bye, wait.